The NBA bubble was even crazier. What's good with y'all boys, man? We got another reaction video. This is the video is titled, man, the NBA bubble was even crazier than you remember, man. I seen this, and I'm like, shit, bro, was it even crazier than I remember? Like, you feel? Let's tap in, man. So, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like the video, man. Let's get straight to it.
NBA season was the strangest and most challenging in NBA history. The preseason started in September of 2019, and the last game of the finals was played on October 11th, 2020, 377 days after the first preseason game, which made it the longest season of all time. But it wasn't just the longest. It was marked by scandals, devastating losses, and uncertainty. First, there was the Daryl Morey scandal in early October. In January, the NBA mourned the loss of David Stern. Not even a month later, the whole world cried after the tragedy of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna.
Damn, I forgot that was in 2020.
March, the NBA and the rest of the sports world were suspended indefinitely due to the pandemic until it finally resumed on July 30th in the Orlando bubble. During the bubble, amid all the testing and unprecedented protocols, there was a player boycott due to social injustices. The whole season was in jeopardy once again. But in the end, basketball won. Vince Carter
Atlanta
broke multiple
Vince
longevity
Carter.
records. LeBron and Russ made history, becoming the first players to notch triple-doubles against every NBA team. We saw one of the greatest duels in playoff history, with Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray trading clutch buckets and 50-point games. Luka went crazy with one of the best game winners of all time.
Bang!
Hey.
Bang! It's good! Doncic
That was a
wins
banger.
the game at the buzzer!
The Joker and the Nuggets came back from a 3-1 deficit twice, while Miami and the best barista in the bubble showed the power of the Heat culture. And when the dust settled, the best team won, with LeBron James trying to add to his case as the greatest of all time. This is the story of the 2020 NBA season, the Orlando bubble, and the most unique season in NBA history. After the Raptors won the 2019 title, the NBA had a wild offseason. The Finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard, held franchises and free agents hostage.
I can't remember in the last decade so many different people in the NBA trying like heck to get information and not being able to.
Until he finally decided to join the Clippers, along with Paul George,
Paul is always a player that I wanted to play with.
who got traded from Oklahoma for SGA and a plethora of picks. The Lakers finally landed Anthony Davis after months
I ain't gonna lie. This SGA trade is really one of the worst trades ever made by organizations.
of pursuit.
Hold on. They got the graphic up here?
Heck to get information and not being able to.
Until he finally decided to join the Clippers, along with Paul George,
Paul is always a player that I wanted to play with.
who got traded from Oklahoma for SGA and a plethora of.
This is what the Clippers got for. Wait, okay. In Paul George trade with the Clippers, the Thunder got SGA. They got Gallinari. They got 4 protected first round picks. No, 4 unprotected first round picks. Another protected first round pick for 2023, and rights to swap picks for 2023 and 2025. This is literally they literally gave up the house to get Paul George, bro. That shit is crazy.
The Lakers finally landed Anthony Davis after months of pursuit. KD and Kyrie joined forces in Brooklyn, despite Durant's Achilles.
And to make that situation worse, they never won anything.
While Russell Westbrook got traded for Chris Paul, reuniting with James Harden in Houston. In one of the most hyped draft classes ever, Zion Williamson was selected first overall by the Pelicans. Ja Morant went second to Memphis, while RJ Barrett got picked third by the Knicks. Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, and Jordan Poole were also selected, in a class that proved rather underwhelming, despite plenty of quality rotation players. But as the players and teams were getting ready for the season, on October 4th, 2019, Daryl Morey became the biggest story in sports. Morey, the Rockets GM, tweeted in support of the Hong Kong protests against China, drawing criticism from the league, the Rockets owner, and several high-profile players, including LeBron James.
But I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand.
The backlash from China was so severe that it resulted in roughly a $400 million loss for the NBA.
Damn. They swept that under the rug. I ain't hear nothing about that.
Suspension of Chinese partnerships with the Houston Rockets, and a total blackout of Rockets games by Chinese broadcasters.
Damn.
However, when the games started, the Morey scandal was soon forgotten amid a plethora of
Mavs
interesting
Luka.
storylines around the league. On October 23rd, Kyrie Irving set the record for most points in a debut game with a new team, scoring 50 for the Nets against Minnesota.
Damn.
And on the next day, Vince Carter became the first player in NBA history to play 22 seasons. And in January, Vince Sanity became the first and only player to have played in 4 different decades. Anthony Davis
Shit. 4 different decades?
broke the record for the most free throws made in a quarter with 18, while James Harden set a new record for most free throws without a miss with 24. Giannis and the
24
Bucks
free
continued
throws
their
without a
great
miss.
form from the previous year.
That's
and
the
were on
record?
pace to win 70 games with a 35-6 record after the first half of the season. In the West, a new partnership of LeBron and AD proved to be successful from the start, as the Lakers were comfortably leading the West ahead of the Nuggets and the Clippers. But on the first day of the new decade, the NBA family suffered a tragic loss.
I'm Maggie Newland at the Breaking News Desk tonight. Former NBA Commissioner David Stern has died.
After
Damn.
David Stern died at the age of 77 due to a brain
Rest in
hemorrhage
peace, Stern,
sustained
man.
a few weeks prior.
The bitter part of it is we lost a great visionary.
For the remainder of the season, all 30 teams wore a black stripe on the left side of their jerseys in memory of Stern. On January 25th, 2020, LeBron moved past Kobe Bryant for third on the NBA all-time scoring list in a game against Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown.
Hey.
He just became the third leading scorer in NBA history.
Little did LeBron and everyone else know that just 12 hours after he passed Kobe in scoring, Kobe would board the last flight of his life.
Kobe passed away right after he passed this nigga in scoring. See, I ain't even gonna be on no conspiracy theory shit. That's crazy though.
Just 12 hours after he passed Kobe in scoring, Kobe would board the last flight of his life.
Breaking news in this Sunday afternoon, 5-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died.
On January 26th, Kobe and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 6 other passengers died in a helicopter crash in
Rip mama,
Calabasas.
man. Rip
Bryant's
GG.
death
Rip
sent
everybody
shockwaves
that
throughout
passed
the NBA
away,
world.
man. That shit
And in
crazy.
subsequent games, NBA players played tribute by dribbling through the 24-second shot clock violation and the 8-second backcourt violation, referencing the 2 numbers Bryant wore during his career.
Great appreciation for Kobe Bryant and all he did for the league.
That shit's so crazy, bro.
Everybody in the NBA.
The following game between the Lakers and the Clippers at Staples Center was postponed out of respect to Bryant, and instead, the Lakers organized a commemoration for Kobe and Gianna, with several memorable speeches from NBA players, including Michael Jordan.
When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died.
The NBA also renamed the NBA All-Star Game MVP Award to the Kobe Bryant Most Valuable Player Award, with
That's fire. I ain't gonna lie, I fuck with that.
Kawhi Leonard as the inaugural recipient. Leonard was part of LeBron's team against Team Giannis, with James and Giannis serving as captains, as the leading vote-getters in each conference. This was the first of 4 NBA All-Star games to use the Elam ending, with a target score of plus 24 points for whichever team was leading after 3 quarters, in another effort to remember Kobe. Giannis' team led 133 to 124 after 3 quarters, which meant the target score was 157 with no shot clock. Anthony Davis scored the final point for Team LeBron on the second of 2 free throws to win the game 157 to 155, in an all-star format that was finally competitive after many forgettable all-star Sundays.
Yeah, I ain't
But
gonna lie. That format was hella competitive. I don't know why they stopped that.
Hield became the new 3-point champion, while Derrick Jones Jr. defeated Aaron
This last
Gordon in a
All-Star weekend was
spectacular
terrible.
dunk contest. When the season returned, the Lakers kept rolling, winning 13 of 16 games in February and March, including wins over the Bucks and the Clippers, the 2 other title contenders. But then, just a few days later, the NBA League and the world experienced something unprecedented. On March 11th, 2020, the game between the Jazz and the Thunder was abruptly postponed shortly before tip-off.
The fans here in the arena don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on.
After it was discovered that Rudy Gobert tested positive for COVID-19. That same evening, the game between the Pelicans and the Kings was also postponed at the last minute, after it was discovered that referee Courtney Kirkland...
This was a crazy-ass moment in sports history right here. Hold on.
Left tip-off.
The fans here in the arena don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on.
After it was...
when Gobert had this interview,
discovered that Rudy Gobert tested positive,
and then said that they said he tested positive, and then he touched all the mics and shit. Like, Rudy Gobert, you shiesty, bro.
COVID-19. That same evening, the game between the Pelicans and the Kings was also postponed at the last minute after it was discovered that referee Courtney Kirkland had worked a Utah Jazz game just 2 days earlier. Upon hearing the news, the NBA suspended the remainder of the 2019-2020 season until further notice.
This astounding and unprecedented story continues to evolve. NBA is suspending the season.
The following week, Gobert's teammate
That is not why that little girl was crying.
Donovan Mitchell also tested positive, along with Houston's Christian Wood and 4 Nets players, including Kevin Durant. As the world was learning about the virus,
damn, I didn't know KD had COVID.
And all players were sent home to quarantine. Over the next 2 months, the only basketball that anybody could watch was from the 90s, as Netflix started streaming the extremely popular Last Dance.
They just had that shit just ready, didn't they? They had The Last Dance just ready to drop, didn't they? It's like they already knew what time it was. Like they knew something that we didn't.
But then, in late May, Adam Silver delighted fans around the world, announcing that the NBA would finish the season at Walt Disney World's ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Orlando.
What we've come up
So
with
that's
now
where they
is
was
playing without fans for the time being at a single site, and that would be in Orlando, Florida, at Disney Wide World of Sports complex.
On June 4th, the NBA Board of Governors approved a plan to restart the season on July 31st in Orlando. Under this plan, 13 Western Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams, all clubs within 6 games of a playoff spot, would play.
Why was it 13 versus 9?
Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams.
I see the Pistons not in the bubble. So it was probably like teams probably did a vote.
All clubs within 6 games of a playoff spot would play 8 regular season seeding games.
Oh,
also,
within 6 games of a playoff spot.
This gave birth.
That shit still don't make sense though.
13 Western Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams, all clubs within 6 games of a playoff spot, would play 8 regular season seeding games. Also, this gave birth to the play-in, with play-in games scheduled for the 8th seed in each conference, but only if the 9th seed finishes the regular
type shit. So this is when the play-in started. COVID. Okay.
Regular season within 4
I'm actually
games of the
getting hit.
8th seed. On June 16, 2020, the NBA released a medical protocol to be used during the season restart in the NBA bubble at Walt Disney World to ensure the health and safety of players, coaches, officials, and staff. Players began practicing at their respective home facilities on June 16th, and on July 7th, the players and team staff began arriving at the Orlando bubble. Once teams arrived in Orlando, everyone was required to undergo 2 PCR tests to be cleared from quarantine and were tested regularly afterward, while wearing face masks and maintaining social distancing. The NBA also set up an anonymous hotline for players to report protocol violations while in the bubble. Only 4 players were cited for violating the rules of the bubble: Rashawn Holmes, Bruno Caboclo, Daniel House, and Lou Williams.
Everybody is not in the NBA no more. Y'all know what Lou Will did.
Trip to the famous
Lemon Pepper Lou.
Atlanta strip club earned him a new nickname, Lemon Pepper Lou. Players were not required to join the bubble, and at least 10 players declined to join their teams, including Kyrie Irving and the Lakers guard Avery Bradley. Irving refused to participate due to his desire to focus on ongoing social justice issues, while Bradley opted out due to his 6-year-old son battling a respiratory illness. But the majority of players did decide to play, and to set up the bubble and save the season, the NBA invested nearly $200 million. After a 3.5-month hiatus, the NBA finally resumed on July 30th. With each team set to play 8 games, which served as the seeding games and the tune-up for the playoffs. The clear-cut winner of the seeding games was the Phoenix Suns, who went a perfect 8-0 behind Devin Booker, who averaged 30.5 points. But despite the win streak, the Suns failed to make the playoffs. TJ Warren of the Pacers.
How they go 8-0 and they ain't even make the playoffs?
On a similar one, earning him the nickname Bubble Warren due to 4 games in which he scored over 30 points.
Damn, I ain't heard of TJ Warren since the bubble. That's crazy.
Including a 53-point game against the Sixers.
Like what, bro? He dropped 53.
Doncic recorded his 17th triple-double of the season, clinching his spot as the youngest player to ever lead the NBA in triple-doubles in a season.
Cross,
if there
step
was
back.
one player better than Luka, Warren, and Booker, it was Damian Lillard. Dame was undoubtedly the MVP of the seeding games, averaging 36.8 points, including a 61.6 61-point game against the Mavs that secured a play-in game for the Blazers.
I forgot
And
Dame
was
had
also
61.
the highest-scoring game of the entire season. Lillard
And
also
won.
became the first player since Wilt Chamberlain to score 60-plus points 3 times in a season. The play-in was not required in the East because 8th place Orlando finished 7 games ahead of 9th place Washington. But the Blazers had to defeat the Grizzlies to make the playoffs, and they did, winning the first ever play-in game 126-122, thanks
Hey.
to 60 combined points from their star backcourt of Lillard and McCollum. After 22
appreciate you that
consecutive
follow,
years
G.
of making the playoffs, the
What's good
Spurs
with you?
missed the postseason for the first time since they drafted Tim Duncan in 1997. With 34.3 points per game, James Harden led the NBA in scoring for a third
Yeah,
consecutive
this
year.
one James
while
Harden
LeBron
was
led the
killing
NBA
too.
in assists for the first time, with 10.2 dimes per game. Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks shot 74% from the field.
Damn, it's crazy. They really count them 8 games and shit as that season. I gotta go back and look at some of the stats for that shit.
Field for the season,
That
which
season.
broke Wilt Chamberlain's all-time record for shooting efficiency in a season. Giannis Antetokounmpo won his second straight MVP award ahead of LeBron and Harden, and the Greek
Giannis
Freak was also
prime.
named the Defensive Player of the Year in front of Anthony Davis and Rudy Gobert. This marked the first time since Hakeem Olajuwon in 1994 that the same
That
player
somebody
won
got
both
both.
awards
Yeah,
in
I
the
was
same
just finna
season.
say, damn, that
Giannis
shit
was only
was
the
crazy.
5th player overall to win both awards, joining Jordan, Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Kevin Garnett. Ja
Damn.
Morant was 1 vote shy of becoming the unanimous Rookie of the Year, while Montrezl Harrell won the award for the best sixth man, and Brandon Ingram became the most improved player. The playoffs started on August 17th, and the first round of the bubble playoffs might have been the most entertaining first round in NBA history, at least in the Western Conference. The number 1 seeded Lakers didn't start the bubble experience well, going 3-5 in the seeding games, and dropping the first game against the Blazers, who had to fight tooth and nail just to make the postseason. But for the rest of the series, LA dominated with their size, playing 2 traditional big men, JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, next to Anthony Davis, and the Blazers had no answer for it. In Game 4 of the series, which was played on the 24th of August, the numbers that the late Kobe Bryant wore, when Kentavious Caldwell-Pope scored with 4:58 left in the first quarter, the score read Trailblazers 8, Lakers 24. Eventually, the Lakers defeated the Blazers in 5 games.
Get your bitch
with
ass
AD
on the game.
averaging
My friend
30
wants to
points
see
on
me play you.
57% shooting, while LeBron James shot 60%.
Your friend gonna have to
and
wait,
averaged a
little
triple-double
nigga.
of 27, 10, and 10. The Rockets needed 7 games to get past the Thunder, led by Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, and young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was in just his second season. Houston played 4 games without Russell Westbrook, who was nursing
Damn,
a
yeah,
quad
pink
injury,
eye.
but they still had James Harden, who averaged 30 points and 8 assists, despite
he not get
phenomenal
the fuck on
defense
the
by Lou
game.
Dort, who is built like a tank and is quick enough to follow Harden's every move like his shadow. Dort nearly became a hero, scoring 30 points in Game 7, while limiting the Beard to only 17 on poor shooting. But the Rockets
gonna have
escaped
to wait,
with a
G. I ain't gonna
104-102
lie.
victory and advanced to the second round. In Game 1 against the Nuggets, Utah's Donovan Mitchell scored 57 points, which was the 3rd highest point total in NBA playoff history. But the Nuggets had 6 players score in double figures and survived Mitchell's avalanche, winning 135-125. But Utah
Man, there was some high-scoring ass
obliterated
games
the
in the
Nuggets in the next
bubble.
2 games, winning by 19 in Game 2 and by 37 in Game 3, which was a
Damn.
prelude to arguably the most fun scoring duel in NBA history, reminiscent of Allen Iverson and Vince Carter's clash from 2001. In a tight game, Mitchell and Jamal Murray went bucket for bucket all
I
game
remember
long,
this.
and Spida finished with 51 points, while Jamal added 50 in a close 129-127 victory for the Jazz.
That was a good
It was
ass
the
game.
first time ever that 2 players scored 50 points in a playoff game. But the heroics weren't done there. Murray dropped 42 in Game 5 and then had another 50-point game in Game 6 to tie the series. Finally, in Game 7, defenses locked in, and neither team got past 80 points after averaging 115 in the first 6 games. Both teams shot below 40% from the field, and in another close game, Jokic led the Nuggets to an 80-78 victory with 30 points, and Denver became just the 12th team to overcome a 3-1 series deficit.
Don't mute me,
However,
my fault.
the biggest
Where's
hero
my
of the
mouse?
first round
Don't mute me, my fault, bruh. Why? Give me a reason. Cause I'm watching the video. I'm reacting to a video. I'm recording the video too. You feel me? So I can put it on YouTube. It's like a part of the streaming type shit. I gotta react to stuff, then I gotta game. You feel me? It ain't just gaming. Cause if I game first, I ain't gonna do shit. Bro, you don't ever react like this? Exactly. Exactly, bro. And that's why you the only person in the motherfucking live right now, bro. Cause if you wanna be real, you a little late too, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta realize. And this is months ago. This is my other channel. I be doing reactions, bro. Hold on. And I'm pausing my reaction to show you that I'm doing reactions, which is crazy. Like, look, bro, I do reactions, bro. Just react to the Backrooms trailer, bro. Best college football moments of all time. You damn near just don't be tapped in when I be reacting. And that's cool, bro. It be like that. You know what I'm saying? But we finna finish tapping into this, bro. 15 more minutes, man.
Wasn't Jokic, nor Murray, nor Mitchell. It was Luka Doncic, who appeared in his first NBA playoffs, dazzling the world with a spectacular array of off-balance Euro steps, floaters, and step-backs. The LA Clippers were heavy favorites for the title, and everyone expected they'd make mincemeat out of the Mavericks, especially after Kristaps Porzingis went down with an injury in Game 3. But then, in Game 4, Luka played a game for the ages, finishing with a monster triple-double of 43 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists.
43, 17, and 13. Shit.
Including this insane step back for the win.
Yeah, bro. That bubble was crazy, for sure, man. If you want to watch the full video, I'll drop the video link below in the bio, man. I mean, in the description. If you're new to the channel, man, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, man. I'm